Advocate Mshololo doing the most. Wow. We can't help but say, wait a minute. If you are looking at the evidence being presented before the court, remember we are doing this trial within a trial. So when you are looking at the evidence provided or brought before the court in this alleged confession, you can't help but notice the fact that there are a lot of inconsistency within the so-called confession. I'll give an example. When Advocate Mshololo wanted Radebe to read his own his own writings, and then he was like, okay, there's this type of rights that you read. Why was there no response? Like, guys, let's be realistic about it. If you are going through a form, at the end of a most important subject, then there must be a response. You know what I'm saying? And then at the end of that page, there must be a signature. So in this case, like, guys, it's so obvious that, you know what? There's a robbery that is going on here. These people are being forced into this confession because if you've been into the property space, you understand how documents are there. Whenever there is something of greater importance, like each and every page, you append your signature. In this case, each and every right read to accused number one, we're supposed to get his response on that right. Then at the end of that page, signature. But in this case, you get to see that, oh, I see where Advocate Mshololo, and then she ended up even saying it, that you did not read all this right. The form, you actually came with the form written. What was his job was just to append his signature, and then so that this alleged confession may look like indeed it happened. But had you read his right one by one, you would have been able to document his response in each and every right that you would have read for him. And I was like, yeah, it makes sense. This angle, it makes a lot of sense. But we are about to take off, provided that you are interested. If you are interested, then please stick around. As you stick around, there's just only a few things that I'm requesting from you guys. And those things are, number one, subscribe. Number two, like the video. Number three, comment in the comment section below. Number four, share this video. Number five, you will need to watch this video until the end. Number six, watch the ads. Well, quite a number of things that you can do. You can join, become a member of this YouTube channel from as little as 20 Rand a month. Also, just next to subscribe, just scroll down there. There's a button called thanks. You can donate to the channel in an amount of your own choice. Now, Advocate Zandile Mshololo cross-examining Lieutenant Colonel Nkosi Khona Radebe on pointing out statement which he conducted on accused number one, Muziga Ukulelwa Sbia. You testify about your experience. You have more than 30 years experience with that you have only done 4 pointing out. Radebe says, yes. Mshololo, you started working in the SAPS. You had matric, right? Radebe, yes. Okay. We all know the matric one. You never missed that one. So Mshololo says, when Colonel Kilinda called you, he had the facts about this case. You were not called by an independent person. In the absence of this document, we don't know what you and Kininda spoke about. Yeah. And I was like, wait a minute, Advocate, where are you going here? Here. I was like, where are you going? So in other words, there could have been a conversation that would have happened prior, a lot of things that would have been said, that are not appearing on record. If you don't get it, forget about it. What is the process of booking out a suspect? Radebe, someone will bring him to my office and I will start with the interview right there. There's a problem. There's a breach of procedure here. Radebe puts it on record. And at the same time, he's expecting us to trust him. And I'm like, Radebe, What are you doing to yourself? You can't do this. You know what I'm saying? So now, notice this. This is number one. There's a breach of procedure here. You're supposed to go to the office. The person will be brought to you by the people who are in charge of this person. Mshololo, you agree, Colonel Gilinda, when you called you, he was privy to the fact of this case. Look, Radebe says yes. Yo guys, as I was told that I need to buy facial tissue. Hey, let me tell the person who told me. I don't want to expose you. I don't want to expose the person who says, Bones, you need to buy a facial tissue. I bought it. I don't want to expose the person. Right? So, Utim Sholologe, okay, so Utim Sholologe, look, he had the facts, ne? Speaking about Colonel Gilinda when he called Radebe, and he knew everything. He was prepared and was briefed about everything. Look, Gilinda, look, Radebe says yes. Mshololo, so you were not requested by an independent person, says yes. So in the absence of the conversation between you and Colonel, we cannot tell what actually transpired. Do you know where she's going with this one? Nah. Then she took this one. Mshololo, you testify that you went to the cell. You found members of the EMPD. What were they doing there? Radebe, they were guarding Mr. Sbiya. He was the only suspect, right? Here's the problem. Guys, here, number two, there's something fishy here. I have never seen it. From my knowledge and what my sources told me, in the South African Police Service, right? South African Police Service are capable of doing everything. And what I've seen with the Metro Police, they will arrest a person and bring that person. As guys, I don't know. It's inching here. I just don't understand what's going on. Yeah, but yeah, ask Lulen Lab. That's why I even had to buy this, right? Because it's inching. It's not like there's something. It's just inching here. Right. So when you look at this, you find that Metro Police, they will go and arrest a person and then hand over that person to the South African Police Service. But in this case, you hear that an EMPD are in a building here, South African Police Service, guarding someone, and you can't help but ask yourself a question. That's why the judge had asked a certain question at the end of this to say, wait a minute, let's talk about this. You know what I'm saying? But we'll talk about the judge at the end. Mshololo, can you tell us the process of booking out a suspect as a peace officer? What is the procedure? My lord, normally as a person, a person will be booked out and someone will bring him to my office. Mshololo says, so that didn't happen. Mshololo says, I will not be your it will not be your duty to book out the suspect. That will be the duty of the officers. Radebe says, correct. Mshololo, and that never happened. This guy says, yes. I don't know if you see what I'm saying here. There is Mshololo went into this thing of kicking them, you know what I'm saying, in terms of procedure, how procedure was breached, right? Okay, let's leave the fact that you found members of the EMPD, which is something that does not make sense. Mshololo put it to Radebe that the Metro Police were guarding Sbiya were posing a threat to Sbiya, which is something that makes sense because I guys know something doesn't make sense here. Like, honestly speaking, something doesn't make sense. Will you agree that the mere presence of the EMPD posed a threat to him? No, my lord, I don't agree with that. Mshololo, do you also agree with me that when you book out the accused out of the cell, he had no choice? I requested him, but even if you requested him, did he have any choice? Nah, the answer is no. Just that clear, guys. Let's leave this one. Radebe, if I did not ask him, then I will be dealing with an accusation that I forced him. But even if you forced him, today he's telling us that he was tortured by you guys. Nobody is actually today taking accountability for that. So it's not like you would have taken accountability for that anyway. So yeah, man, it's not like it would make sense. It would make anything. You know what I'm saying? Amount to anything. Mshololo, you did not record asking the accused for consent to book him out and off the cells because you did not ask him for his consent, which is exactly where I was going to say. Whether he agree or disagree, you will still have dragged him out. You know, guys, we're not fools. We can see things, we see them as they are. It's a fact. Mshololo then reminded her, which is a very important point. Mshololo says, we are dealing with the facts if the accused voluntarily agreed to go with you. So you see, we're dealing with the issues of voluntarily. So that's when now you begin to see that, oh yes, Mshololo has got a point here. She's doing the Lord's work, because if the whole confession is free and voluntarily, even the process and the procedure should indicate that this was a free and voluntarily. So if a person gives you the testimony or this whole confession free and voluntarily, the process should vindicate that. But in this point, the process disagree with that. Do you see what I'm trying to say? That's how I was like, oh yeah, advocate I see. Advocate I see. The process disagree with the so-called, it was free and voluntary. That's why they're like, this is a lie. So Sbia did not consent to Sbia did not consent. Did you tell him the purpose of booking out? Radebe, yes, when we got to the office, Mshololo, what did you say? Radebe, I said I was there to tail a statement agreed to with the investigating officer. Okay? So you were there to take a statement that you have agreed to make when you were talking to the investigating officer. By the way, Brigadier Kinenda. Did you record that because you did not ask for his consent? No, I don't agree. Mshololo, did you ask his consent, or you instructed him to go with you? I requested him. I still don't agree. Right. Mshololo, and where did you record that? Is it in your pocketbook? He said that he doesn't use a pocketbook because of his position. Then Mshololo says, no problem. And then tell me about your is it written in your own personal notebook? No, it's not. So he's like, Mshololo, now ask about Section 35 of the Constitution, which deals with the right to be accused. Do you agree that you never informed the accused of the allegation? Sorry, guys. Look, Radebe says, yes, I didn't. Did he at any time tell you he was under arrest for murder? Good to know. And here, guys, Mshololo was on something. Mshololo was actually exposing that he was doing a pointing out for a murder, but is arrested for drugs. And he's like, does it make sense? Then guys, you see, the problem with lies is that lies will make you cover up with another lies, and at the end of the day, you constantly get exposed. Then again, we get into this part where Radebe is now reading the right of Sbia. Right, the right of Sbia. Radebe says, I read all his right to him. I did not do so one by one. Mshololo, when you read him his first right to remain silent, there is no election. That's why I said I read all the right to him. And that's why I'm saying to you guys that this is a lie, because then the right to remain silent, if it's thoroughly explained, all the other things fall apart. For instance, if you say you have a right to remain silent even within this confession, and then I say, oh, okay, I don't want to talk, and then I keep quiet, then the rest is null and void. You know what I'm saying? So here you can tell that these people are lying. Did he at any stage tell you he was arrested for murder? And he says no. Okay, let's go into this one. Mshololo, so the accused was not informed that what he was going to do was going to be used against him in court. Yes, the word court was not there, so in essence, the accused was never told. You see, this is another confession of inconsistency. I think now we're at number 4. You know what I'm saying? Within this whole process of, this fake confession that never actually happened. You know what I'm saying? This guy never confessed here. We can tell here, it's just clear. You know what I'm saying? Mshololo, I'm saying he was not informed of the exact consequences of pointing out, I did inform him. Colonel Radebe responded. I'm sure he hates me wherever he is. It's like, this guy, you talk too much. That's puppet. Well, Radebe, I'm doing my work. But, if my work is actually contradicting you, I don't think the problem is with me. I think the problem is with you. I'm sorry, but it's a fact. Please tell me what is exact that was explained to him. Radebe, can we read this? Mshololo says, yes. Then he goes on to say, read all these things. Yeah, I'm like, man, I'm not interested. I'm not keen. And easy. Mshololo, now, I'm saying from this response, he knew that he was under arrest for drug dealing, not for murder. That was secondary. How was it secondary? Hey, yasi, abo Radebe bafethu. Amanga. Hey, Nina. These people have got an audacity of lying with this batch here. But asibay again. Did he at any stage tell you he was under arrest for murder? Radebe says no. Then you say it was secondary. How was it secondary if he didn't even tell you that it was? You know what I'm saying? There was no guys. Come on, how did the guys stop lying, man? How do you know it was secondary when you didn't even know that the first existed to begin with? Guys, we are not children here. We are not. We cannot be lied upon. Guys, come on. How did you know it was secondary when from the beginning you don't know the first one? As you say that you don't know the first one. Guys, we're not children. Come on, guys. You are making us children. There is a right to legal representation. Which one did he choose? His own or the state to provide for him? Radebe, he gave one holistic answer for everything. I understand. That's why you see that, guys, come on. If the right is read, you have a right for legal representation, and you can either elect your own or apply for this one. And then here there's just an holistic answer. Guys, come on. Now, I was talking to certain people, they were telling me that what is usually happening here is that it can be proven that as now it is still alleged, but if it can be proven that indeed he was tortured, I'm telling you, they said that usually this confession, they will prepare it and do everything, and then you just append your signature, and that's it. In this case, you get to see when other investigators tells you that, Bongan, this is how usually it happens. And then you're like, oh yeah, it makes sense. Because if these rights were read properly, there was supposed to be a response specifically to this right. Mshololo, it shows his rights were never explained. I've already covered that anyway. Yeah. So Mshololo says, yeah, it shows that his rights were never explained. And I'm like, Mshololo, I agree with you. This shows that the constitutional rights of the accused were not properly explained to him in a manner which he understood. Radebe says, he understood. And I'm like, Radebe, he did not understand. Yeah. Mshololo, did you note down what was pointed out by the accused? Radebe says, yes. Mshololo still Mshololo. I am saying the accused constitutional right were not explained to him in a manner that it understood. And then Radebe says, yeah, I was convinced that he understood. But you can tell that these people are lying here. The reason why the direction, if any, were given by the accused to you is is because no direction were ever given to you. The reason why there isn't any is because no direction was ever given to you. I'm like, sure, I'm with you there. You know what I'm saying? You testify you did not record the directions given by the accused to where you were going. Radebe says, yes. In the direction ought to have been recorded to this form, Radebe, where in the form you could have attached this because you're still allowed to attach any document. It's not like you can't attach any document. And I'm like, okay, I'm sure you've got a point there. We're following. Mshololo. Now Mshololo says the direction it was given. The direction given was to give. The direction if it was given was to given to you should have been recorded on the pro forma, and then they say should have attached that. No, the evidence that he directed the driver at the entrance of Osloras, and I'm like, I don't believe that. But as you learn. Okay. The fact that you did not write any direction is because the accused never gave you any direction. He did, my lord. Mshololo, it's not there. It's not here on the pro forma. It says, so we've already covered that one, that it should have been attached. Mshololo says, at the scene, there was Metropolis in the vicinity. Radebe says, yes. Why in the vicinity? If you were guarding him, Radebe, guarding is not only for that, but also safeguard the safety of all that are in the area. Which here I was like, okay, it makes sense here. It makes sense. Okay. Mshololo, you are not a sound interpreter, right? Radebe says yes. You are not a qualified interpreter, right? Radebe says yes. That's correct. In the SAPS, we do not have employed interpreters. I was like, okay. Then Mshololo says, I put it to you that the presence of those metropolis induced fear to the accused during the point out. It didn't. How do you know it didn't? You see, the problem, guys, with lies is this one. How do you know it didn't? Did you ask him? No. So how do you know it didn't? It means that we have a right to assume that Radebe is. We have a right to assume that Radebe, we can assume that he is in America because, come on. You get a point. How do you know if you didn't ask him? That's the basic fundamental question. I think Mshololo then she finished her part, but I was like, wow, quite interesting. Did it reach to you as you show how Sibia communicated? How Sibia communicated that he wanted to do the pointing out. Radebe, it was never conversed to me. Mgomezulu. And he should have informed you that Sibia wanted to make a point out. Radebe says, yes, Mgomezulu, you were deliberating this because because of Sibia, who says, according to the state, he wanted to make a confession or pointing out. Radebe says, yes. The fact that Radebe says it didn't know this, it just troubles me. Like, that alone, guys, it just troubles me. I cannot help but ask myself a question. This police is not telling the truth, yes. This police, iconic, guys. Mgomezulu, I'm putting it to you that Sibia, I'm putting it to you that Sibia is the author of this deliberation. Do you agree? Says Ulok, yes. Beside that evidence, what logic dictates? The judge says, whose logic? Look, Mgomezulu says the logic, general logic, I will demonstrate that logic. Ngomezulu, my lord, at this stage, I won't buy that question. I want you, because you were a part of the discussion about Sbia. Radebe, what was discussed between Gininda and Sbia, I have no idea of it. I was requested to make a pointing out. This is where I'm like, guys, I don't believe this guy. For a bar of a soap, guys, I don't believe this guy. The logic of an experienced officer like you, a person who is in custody, can have a certain way of communicating with an investigating officer. One of which could have been personal communication. That's not correct, and I'm like, nah, man. So how did he communicate that he wanted to do a confession? You see the problem it lies. There was a form of communication between Sbia and an investigating officer. How did he communicate all of these things? Guys, come on. Then Mgomezulu, so let me just qualify it. Gininda visited the suspect. That's the personal encounter. Yes, and then here he agrees. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is the judge now asking these very important questions here. And the judge asking about the presence of the EMPD police officer during the point out. The judge did at any stage. Mr. Sbia says these are the people who assaulted, choked me. No, my lord. Gusho ulok. Guys, here's my problem. I told you my experience with a South African police service. I'll give you an example. When I was in Joburg CBD, parking there, this Metro Police, they were driving a Toyota Quest. They saw me parking in the wrong space. There were 4 inside. The driver is the one that insulted me. All other 3 never responded, never said anything. Now, do you mean to tell me that I can go and report their driver to the passenger, whom both of them are police? It doesn't make sense. Now that you understand that, how was Bia going to tell you about the torture and the troops when he's tortured by the police? And not just one police, but a number of police. So his trust of police at that time, it's obliterated, annihilated. You know what I'm saying? So you cannot expect him to trust another police that he can tell you about all these things. Guys, no. Some things, guys, they just need this. Some things, guys, no. Here in jail, I was like, this one doesn't really make sense for me. Like, it doesn't make sense for me at all. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, the state then called, we adjourned yesterday until today. So let me check. The state called, who's this guy that they called? Let's talk about the guy that they called. The state then, Radebe was done, and they called Usage and Matsobane Mapaseka. Yes, Mapaseka. Then again, this is the guy that I was like, he's a photographer. He's the one that took pictures of Mziga Ukulelo Asbia. You know what I'm saying? He works. Guys, there they come. Sorry. Wait. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Yeah. So this is the photographer that photographed Usbia. And then, so, I mean, I was sitting there, I was like, hey, honestly speaking, I have no questions for this guy. Like, honestly, I have no questions for this guy. So it was the defense. They did not have much questions for the defense. I mean, for this guy, the photographer. So that's why I am not going to spend much of my time, because all that we heard was his experience. He received a call about 10 p.m. But there was a contradiction. There was a point where he contradicted to Radebe. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, It's just that I did not pay attention to that one. Let me see if I can arrive there. Maobane says, when I arrived at Albertine, I went to room 31 where Radebe was with accused. I found him still talking, taking down a statement, and he was asked to wait. I was asked to wait outside. He says that after that he took should come and took pictures, as he indicated. Okay, here he is collaborating the evidence of Radebe here, right? So yeah, man, I cannot see actually what exactly he did here. Then the only thing that were questioned, it was Zitulele Nxumalo, Advocate Zitulele Nxumalo, asking about the taking of pictures in terms of the kilometers, which was not clear. And then he says that the camera failed him there. And then did you see any police vehicle that were in the convo when you left the police station? Mapaseka said, Mapekela, not Mapaseka. Hey, yabona manje ngiyamosha la Maphakela said. No, I did not see. Remember that according to Radebe, there were two vans that were following, and in between there was a vehicle. So you guys are training towards a certain direction. Radebe says there are Metro Police, and then you are saying no, I did not see anything. Who's telling the truth then? I'm asking you. Between Mapagela, no Radebe. Who's telling the truth? Guys, there are some shady things that are going on here. You know what I'm saying? But again, for today, I don't want us to labor this much point. But Mina, guys, I am of the view that these people, all of the accused, I am of the view, and I'm still going to stick by this. We are not saying they are not criminals. Because accused number 5, I think, is serving 6 life sentences for taking people's lives. So we are not disputing that he is not a criminal, but we are saying for the Meyiwa case, ever since we have started listening to evidence being brought before the court, up to so far, we have not found an evidence that really linked these 5 people into the crime. Because of that, we can't help but ask questions. When are we going to see the real killers of Senzo Meyiwa being brought to book? We can't help but ask such questions. We can't help but ask questions such as, it's been a while. This has been ongoing. We can't help but ask questions such as, at what stage are we going to see the likes of Kelly Khumalo being called? And we can't help but ask this question. The state indicated that they had no intention whatsoever to call the likes of Abo Kelly Khumalo. And you ask yourself a question. Guys, let me tell you this. There is a witness, and then there is an eyewitness. Okay. I was in the house. I heard a sound. You are a witness. Right? So this sound went on like this, and then boom, we then see this person was bleeding. That means, though you were in this vicinity, but you did not necessarily saw exactly what was happening. Then, let's say in this house, the other person was sitting on the sitting room, who heard the noise, but the door was locked, so they couldn't come in. Until that person went out, that's when they saw that the person was bleeding. It makes sense, Velo, to say the people who caused the bleeding is the people that were with him here. But then let's say in this room, there were 3 people, the one who's bleeding and the other one, and then the one who witnessed this whole incident. That person becomes an eyewitness. You saw it firsthand. To get a point, take that into consideration. Then follow this logic then. If that's the case, ask yourself a question. Kelly is not just that witness who was sitting in the sitting room, right? Hearing the sound, but couldn't penetrate this room because it was locked as the incident was happening. To get it? Kelly Khumalo, she's not that person, but Kelly Khumalo, she even agreed, put it on record that she saw it. That means she's an eyewitness, but she's not called for the why. Are we serious about justice? Or we just want to pretend as if we want to give the Meyiwa family, we want to give justice to the Meyiwa family. But this does not look like that. How do you leave an eyewitness outside?